Currently, a war is being fought, which seems to be getting very little attention from the public. The conflict involves two highly significant European nations, along with two equally vital North African and Arab countries. It's an intricate and complex situation that warrants further examination.
Questo si chiama franco CFA. È la moneta coloniale che la Francia stampa per 14 nazioni africane, alle quali applica il signoraggio e in forza delle quali sfrutta le risorse di questa nazione. Questo è un bambino che lavora in una miniera d'oro in Burkina Faso. Il Burkina Faso è una delle nazioni più povere del mondo. Per il Burkina Faso, che ha l'oro, la Francia stampa moneta coloniale. In cambio pretende che finiscano nelle casse del tesoro francese il 50% di tutto quello che il Burkina Faso esporta. L'oro che questo bambino si infila in un cunicolo per tirare fuori finisce per lo più nelle casse dello Stato francese. Allora la soluzione non è prendere gli africani e spostarli in Europa. La soluzione è liberare l'Africa da certi europei che la sfruttano e consentire a queste persone di vivere di quello...
Meet Giorgia Meloni, the current Prime Minister of Italy, a prominent European nation with the world's largest economy, valued at $1.88 trillion. In office for less than 4 months, she has already made history by leading the first right-wing Italian government since World War II. Meloni recently visited 2 significant locations that play a crucial role in perpetuating the Algerian struggle against France. Despite it being her first visit to an African country, Meloni's impact was felt immediately, sparking outrage at the Élysée Palace and within the French press. The source of the controversy? Upon her arrival, she paid her respects at the Shrine of the Martyr, a famous monument that symbolizes the Algerian Revolution and commemorates the people's struggle against French colonization. Meloni also visited the Enrico Mattei Garden, named after the founder and leader of the Italian oil and gas giant Eni. The company was one of the biggest supporters of the Algerian struggle during the 50s and 60s. The death of Enrico Mattei, who perished in a plane crash, has long been the subject of exciting and intriguing theories. Many speculate that his demise was not an accident, but a calculated assassination. Former French intelligence agency agent Philippe de Vosjoli claimed that the SDCE was responsible for the crash. The motive? Mattei's impending Italian takeover of French oil interests in Algeria. The current Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, made a bold statement during her recent visit to locations that are considered to be a thorn in the French's side. Her declared Italian goal, Italy as a major center for the delivery of gas supplies from Africa to Northern Europe in the future, is a clear message to France. Italy aims to take Russia's place as a major supplier of Europe's gas needs, while simultaneously undermining French authority in North Central and West Africa. Less than a week later, Meloni was in Libya's Tripoli, making it clear that Italy's strategic moves are quick, smart, and calculated. As we contemplate Italy's role in global natural gas markets, important questions arise. How does Italy plan to remain a key player? How can African countries, particularly Algeria, help it achieve this goal? Will Italian infrastructure facilitate the transportation of the gas quantities that Europe requires? What are the details of the Mattei plan announced by the Italian Prime Minister in the heart of Algeria? These are some of the vital and compelling questions that we will delve into during today's episode. To comprehend Italy's involvement in Algeria, we need to examine the energy landscape of the country prior to the Russian-Ukrainian war. Italy was heavily reliant on Russian gas, importing around 29 billion cubic meters, which accounted for approximately 40% of its total natural gas consumption, making it one of the largest importers of gas in Europe. Additionally, gas played a significant role in generating half of the country's electricity and was the primary source of energy for both Italian industries and household heating. However, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine led to a threat of gas cutoff, causing a reduction in gas supplies to Europe as the war continued, and the EU imposed sanctions on Moscow. Consequently, Italy and other EU nations were compelled to explore alternatives to Russian gas. In the aftermath of the Russian-Ukrainian war, Italy set two crucial goals: a short-term goal of finding alternative natural gas suppliers to Russia, and a medium-term goal of becoming a key European hub for gas exports from Africa. With a strategic maneuver by Eni, the Italian energy giant, and the leadership of former Prime Minister Mario Draghi, Italy has largely achieved its short-term goal of securing natural gas supplies from Algeria. In fact, Algeria emerged as Italy's second-largest gas supplier after Russia, accounting for approximately 29% of Italy's total gas flows, or around 21.2 billion cubic meters. To secure an additional 9 billion cubic meters of Algerian gas, Draghi led a high-level delegation to Algeria, including Claudio Descalzi, CEO of Eni, to convince the Algerians to sign the agreement and establish a foothold for Eni. The success of the visit was such that Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune reciprocated the visit in Rome, requesting that Italy support Algeria in raising its gas production capacities in exchange for more gas supplies. The agreement included plans to boost gas exploration, develop green hydrogen projects, and lay a submarine cable to transmit electricity from Algeria to Italy. The partnership between Eni and Sonatrach allowed Italy to gradually increase its gas flows, meeting the country's gas demand by 2023-2024. And as a result, Italy reduced its dependence on Russian gas by 40%, primarily importing from Algeria and to a lesser extent from Egypt and Libya. While Draghi played a significant role in securing Italy's gas supplies, the newly elected Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, is now leading the charge. Her conservative right-wing party, Brothers of Italy, won the elections in October, and she formed the new Italian government. However, this victory has sent shock waves throughout Europe, causing concern among many. Why? To let you understand, let me give you a little glimpse into Giorgia's background and where it comes from. Giorgia Meloni, the leader of Italy's right-wing party, Brothers of Italy, has a background in neo-fascism. Her party promotes nationalism and is highly critical of the European Union, calling for a renegotiation of its treaties. During her election campaign, Meloni's populist slogan was, "Italy and the Italian people first."
Insists she's no fascist, just a proud conservative and nationalist, comfortable, nevertheless, with some of the hallmarks of Italian fascism, like this motto: God, fatherland, and family. Exactly 100 years ago this fall, fascist dictator Benito Mussolini staged his historic March on Rome, eventually marching the country into 2 decades of dictatorship and alongside Hitler into World War II. Neither Il Duce nor his fascist party survived, but several descendants are active in politics today, like his granddaughter Rachele Mussolini, a member of the Brothers of Italy.
Since taking office, Meloni has prioritized Italy's nationalism and has formed a government consisting mainly of members from her own party and other right-wing and conservative parties, such as Lega Nord and Forza Italia, the party of former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. Meloni's first priority as Prime Minister is to position Italy strategically on the global natural gas map and make it the next major European gas center. Algeria is a key player in achieving this goal, and Meloni is determined to work with the Algerian state-owned Sonatrach and Italian energy giant Eni to boost gas exploration and development of existing fields, and to develop green hydrogen projects in Algeria. In addition, they have agreed to lay a submarine cable from Algeria to Italy to transmit electricity and gradually increase gas flows to reach the 9 billion cubic meters required by Italy by 2023-2024. Algeria is a vital player in the African gas industry. It annually produces 100 billion cubic meters of natural gas, with half of it consumed domestically and the remainder exported. Despite its immense oil and gas reserves, Algeria's resources are underutilized due to poor management and inadequate investments. Giorgia Meloni, who prioritizes her nation's interests above all, aims to tap into Algeria's potential as a cornerstone of her ambitious plans. It is no surprise that Meloni's first visit to an African nation was to Algeria, where Italian energy giant Eni has been operating since 1981. Meloni has set her sights on creating a massive global gas hub in Italy, with Algeria as a crucial partner. To achieve this, she has devised a plan named after Enrico Mattei, the founder of Eni, who was instrumental in shaping Italy's foreign policy in the 1950s and 1960s. During that period, Mattei championed Algerian independence from France and challenged Anglo-American oil companies' dominance in Africa. And his priority was to strengthen Italy's energy independence while also promoting Africa's economic growth through fair and mutually beneficial partnerships. It is worth noting that Eni was one of the few international companies that offered African countries fair deals, such as equal partnerships with Tunisia and Algeria to extract oil at lower profit margins than what other oil majors were offering. This is a likely reason why Mattei was assassinated. Melanie's Mattei plan is an ambitious attempt to revive Italy's energy independence and bolster the country's strategic position on the global natural gas map, and this is a departure from the predatory energy policies of other international players. Giorgia Meloni is keen to foster closer ties with Algeria, which has now overtaken Russia as Italy's largest supplier of natural gas. However, questions have been raised about Italy's existing gas infrastructure and its capacity to transport billions of cubic meters of excess gas from the south to the north. Currently, Italy relies on 3 pipelines for natural gas transport. The Enrico Mattei gas pipeline, also known as the Transmed pipeline, runs from Algeria, passing through Tunisia and under the Strait of Sicily before reaching southern Italy. The Green Stream pipeline, belonging to the Libyan West Gas Project, starts in Libya and travels under the Mediterranean Sea to reach Sicily. The Trans-Adriatic Pipeline, or TAP, forms part of the Western European Gas Corridor project and comprises 3 complementary lines. The first of these, the South Caucasus Pipeline, originates from the Shah Deniz field in Azerbaijan and ends on the Georgian-Turkish border. The second one is TANAP, or the Trans-Anatolia Gas Pipeline, which is a Turkish line that starts from the city of Akalkalaki in Georgia and crosses all of Turkey until it reaches the Greek village of Kipoi, and TAP itself, which runs from Greece to Albania and under the Adriatic Sea until it reaches Italy. However, to realize Italy's ambitions of becoming Europe's premier gas center, the existing infrastructure must be expanded and new lines constructed. To this end, Italy has begun doubling the capacity of the TAP pipeline to deliver 20 billion cubic meters of gas by 2027. Additionally, during the Prime Minister's visit to Algeria, an agreement was reached to revive the shelved Galsi pipeline project, which will extend from Hassi R'Mel in Algeria to the north of the country, then to the island of Sardinia, and finally to Piombino in Italy. In other news, Italy currently operates 3 regasification plants that allow for the import of liquefied gas and its conversion into natural gas. The plants are located in Veneto, Liguria, and Tuscany, and together have a capacity to convert 15-25 billion cubic meters of gas. Adding to its energy infrastructure, Italy's state-run gas network operator SNAM recently purchased 2 floating gas storage and regasification units, FSRU, known as Golar Tundra and BW Singapore, for $350 million and $400 million, respectively. These FSRUs have a remarkable capacity of 5 billion cubic meters each, which will allow them to cover 13% of Italy's domestic gas consumption needs. Interestingly, Italy's domestic gas consumption is expected to decrease by 7% next month, after the European Council approved a voluntary reduction in gas demand by 15%. At the beginning of August last year. Italy managed to obtain an exemption from the European Council due to its capacity to store gas, resulting in an expected decrease of Italian domestic consumption to 65.7 billion cubic meters per year. Italy's ultimate goal of becoming the first gas corridor for Europe requires careful attention to the infrastructure that will transport the excess quantities of imported gas to the country's strong industrial center located in the north, as well as to export channels. Creating a reverse flow of gas from Italy to other European countries through the Trans-Austria Gas Pipeline, TAG, and the Transit Gas Pipeline in Switzerland will provide a solution to this challenge, as Italian gas will reach high-demand markets in Central and Western Europe. To support this strategy, Italy is investing $2.7 billion in an additional land pipeline, the Adriatic Line, which will increase transportation capacity between the south and the north by about 10 billion cubic meters. But the ambition of Giorgia Meloni, Italy's leader, seems to have no limits. She is leveraging the European Union's current energy crisis to gain its financial and political support for Italy's regional ambitions. Meloni is advocating for the Repower EU plan, a massive initiative that aims to make the European Union independent of Russian fossil fuels by 2027. The plan has a budget of $263.5 billion in loans and grants, and the EU is eager to support any project that will reduce its reliance on Russia. By embracing this plan, Italy hopes to strengthen its position as a key player in Europe's gas market. Hence, on February 6th, Giorgia and some of her government's ministers held a meeting with top Italian energy company executives, including Eni, Enel, Snam, and Terna. Giorgia explicitly announced her plan to utilize the EU funds of the Repower EU plan to entirely end Italy's dependence on Russian gas and transform the country into an energy hub for the European Union. Considering the anticipated decrease in domestic consumption, Italy's robust infrastructure that it is expanding and enhancing, its additional contracts with Algerian company Sonatrach, heightened imports of natural gas from various countries such as Azerbaijan, and liquefied gas from Egypt, Angola, the Republic of the Congo, Nigeria, and Mozambique, and Eni's recent investments in Libya and other countries, Italy is poised to become a major natural gas exporter to northern European countries. Consequently, Italy's strategy has succeeded, and it has accomplished its goal of becoming Europe's primary gas corridor, which will bolster its position within the European Union and expand its influence in the Mediterranean region. Italy will play a significant role in securing the energy needs of the European Union, while simultaneously serving as the largest natural gas customer for Mediterranean and African countries. To wrap up, I have a question for you. Do you believe that the Algerian-Italian cooperation and other such developments are a positive move towards achieving a more sustainable and diverse energy mix for Europe? I am keen to read your responses in the comments.